the strategy will not work if the mindset is not there. When it comes to increasing my rate, it was really the mindset coaching that helped me through it. And now I can already approach the client and like pitch my offer without any doubt. I think if it's not because of the coaching that I've had with you, really I would still be stuck in that same old technique where I would give them a discount. I'm able to have this consistent stream of income per month because of that change of mindset. I just had that feeling that I am in control with my finances.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to bring in another client to inspire you all because she is someone whom I helped shift her mindset from scarcity to abundance that led to increasing her rates as a freelancer, getting booked out, and removing the pressure of chasing clients. So here we will talk about how she went from lowballing herself to now confidently setting boundaries with clients and attracting dream clients at her desired rates. So if you're a Filipino freelancer, get some notes, some ball pens, because you're going to be so inspired with her story. So without further ado, let me bring in Shane. Please introduce yourself.
Hi Nick. Hello everybody. I am Shane Uy and I am a web designer and copywriter. And I have this online web design boutique called Brand Story Lounge. And so basically, right now, I design for professionals in the creative industry. But before I worked with Coach, I used to be like a general niche web designer offering web design projects at almost for free because I was afraid of not getting sales. Yeah, so much. I think that's an oversharing already. But yeah, I'm a web designer. Let's just put it at that.
Actually, now that Shane, touched on that, I think a lot of freelancers would relate, especially when it's hard to put yourself out there to say the rate that you want and get clients at that energy. So walk us through your freelancing journey. How was it like getting started on that? And how was it like managing your finances on your own throughout that journey?
Okay. So first of all, as a freelancer, I've always had this struggle of how to present myself. Mainly because I felt like I did not deserve a premium rate because I'm a Filipino, and that has always been at the back of my head before whenever I speak with clients during discovery calls. So because of that, I was sabotaging myself and I did not realize it because even before my clients would be asking me how much my rate is, I would already go straight to justifying why I am offering more than $5 per hour rate. And the fact is, my rates aren't really even that high, but I would always haggle. I would be the one haggling my rate. So, how was it? Nakakababa ng self-esteem. And aside from that, the burnout is terrible because then I would feel like I have to serve clients, multiple clients every month. And it's not just the client task, it's chasing clients every day, reaching out to like what, 15 to 20 people, telling them I'm on discount right now. And I often wondered why no one would respond, or I always get like really few responses. And I thought before working with Coach Nick, I thought the problem is just I wasn't reaching more people. So I would double my efforts, and that resulted to burnout. And because my rates are really low, I had to get more clients to like reach a specific amount that's not even huge, that's just like barely enough for my business to survive. So the burnout was no joke. And because of that, I lost my confidence in myself whenever I would hear other freelancers booking out at their premium rates. And I think it was like a domino effect because I would then compare myself to them and I would get lost on, how good they are. And I would like think that I'm not. And then because of that, I would like to upskill again and learn another skill, another service, what to add on my product, what kind of freebie should I give today. And aside from it's costing me my finances. My biggest problem really is that it's draining me emotionally and mentally. So I was in that situation before.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy looking back at it now because you've come so far. And I remember when you said in the testimonial that
Mm,
joining my program was like the lifeline that you needed
mm,
because you were in that place, like you felt
yeah,
drained financially, emotionally, mentally with all
yeah.
of the things that are happening. So what was the point that made you realize like you needed to work with me, you need to work with a coach for you to see a different impact or difference in your business and how you run it?
So I was in that situation, going back to where I was saying, I was like thinking
Yeah.
of what else to add to my service and how else
Yeah.
to like increase my sales. And I was speaking with my husband and I want to venture on funnel design and invest in this much, and this is how much I'm going to spend. And at that time, I was on my $1,000, last couple $1,000, and so I was like, that's the only money. Where will I invest it on? I was thinking I'm going to invest it on upskilling again. And I told my husband about my plan, and he told me, you know what, you better just first check your finances instead of risking or basically gambling on another venture. Get yourself a financial advisor. That's his advice, because I wasn't maluho at all, but I don't know where my money go. And I realized it was all on spending on ads, spending on outsourcing, things like that, because I wasn't sure what I was doing. So I was like, okay. And then Coach Nick, when I found you, because you were also helping Ira, I think that time, and she's one of the web designers I was so jealous of. So looking, just looking at her web, like, she's so good, and I would wonder how she did it. And at that time, she didn't even have an official website yet. Like, she does have a page, but not as extensive as mine. I was like wondering how could she get booked out. So I was studying her activities, and one time she posted about you, that she was working with you and how it has really helped her fund her freedom. And I cannot remember exactly the words that she said in that post, but I remember she was basically talking about how it shifted her mindset, something like that. It's like, yeah, and since my husband told me to consider, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go check on Coach Nick. So I booked on your course, I think after a few emails. When one email you really mentioned about not needing another side hustle to reach my income goals. And so like, okay, I'm gonna go try and see. Initially, my goal for that was just to know whether or not that investment that I was gonna go to would be worth my time. And that's all I needed. So during our call, you we talked about those things, and I realized that the problem wasn't really my skill, wasn't my product. It is basically how I present myself, and it starts with how I see my worth, my skills, the worth of my skills. So yeah, that's how I ended up with you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know, when you were sharing that, like a lot of like memories flooded into my mind because like andame because first off Ira, we realized that we were like so close like where we live. So we decided to
Oh.
catch up over coffee like last December. So she'd be
Mm-hmm.
happy na, you know, she like you mentioned her here, but she was also in that place na parang she was so like stressed with like clients and like lowballing herself, and
Mm-hmm.
when she was able to shift her mindset and finally get booked out, and now she's working with her dream clients also, and it's just such a ripple effect na now you get to talk about her and be in that place na now. So it's just like the most fulfilling thing to hear that now you're able to see yourself like rise from that struggle and be that voice to someone. Like you never know who's listening right now and be like, hey, like Shane, like I heard from Shane that she did this, and how about me? Like I also want that. And the second thing you shared also about how the problem wasn't in your skill or in your product, but it was
Mm,
how you perceived your skills and how you
mhm,
perceived your self-worth. Because like time and time again, I always say that your belief about money and yourself reflects in your business decisions.
mhm,
And true enough, like that's how it was for you. Now, okay, maybe I just need to upskill. I needed to invest in another thing, in another skill. But turns out like it was more so about how can you trust in your skills more so
mhm,
that the value that people see in your skills, they would
mhm.
be willing to pay for that more.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I remember in our conversations that you kind of didn't expect that you would go so deep to be like, okay, like, so what's the root cause behind like your worth about yourself, your the lack of trust in yourself, and you're like, wait, what? And true enough, like it was so important and so integral in building that confidence within
Mm-hmm.
yourself so that you'd be the person capable of sharing the rates that you want, right?
I remember, I think it was during our discovery call before I even
Yeah.
invested. I clearly remember I told you I don't need people, like telling me to manifest and tell your mind or something like that, or like put your mind. No, I want strategy. I don't need people telling me I'm good or what, because I am so done with mindset coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I remember you also did not really like stop me from that belief, but how gently you nudged me into realizing that the strategy will not work if the mindset is not there. So we have to deal with your issues. And it was really uncomfortable for me, to be honest, but really, again, it was really worth taking the time to actually like take a step back and then look at how this is all affecting my business, my strategy, because this is how I view the situation. So I would look at Instagram influencers or TikTok influencers talking about mindset and stuff like that. And that was what I was scared of, especially that I was really keen on going to the point of being so materialistic because my happiness is not there, and like, I do not change my mindset, and I asked you that, and I am happy that you did not change my goal, you did not change the principles that I have in my life, but you helped me change my mindset to look at the principles better. There you go. I think that's what a real
Yeah.
mindset coach is.
I love that. I love that because I also remember like when we first had like the assessment call and you're like, please just don't tell me to like believe in myself
Yeah.
and then I'll take action, and like I want us to dig deeper around that, like to shed
Mm-mm-mm.
some light on that. In what way did the mindset work really help you in the strategy, in managing your finances better? Like how do you think that working on the mindset affected your finances and your business?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Before, I was thinking that I don't need this much money, right? I just have this like really modest goal, 'cause since I live in a city where there's not much to spend on, and I'm happy and contented. And so I have that thought. And then I think that because of that, I should be charging less. That kind of thinking. And because if I would charge more, that means I am not contented with what I have. And that means I am becoming materialistic. I had that thinking and I loved the contentment that I have. And I was really so protective of it. And then I did not realize that I could actually look at it in a different manner. I could actually charge my rate the way they're worth instead of how much I need in this city, so that the time that I will be saving because I don't need to work with more clients, I could actually enjoy my other activities that I also prioritize that's not money making priorities. So the principle is still there. It's not like I could jump into lifestyle inflation just because I am earning more. It's not that. I could save my time. I could work for less hours with more amount of money so that I could have more time for other things. And it's just the same. So I think that's just one example of it. But when I said it's still the same principle that I live by, it's still
Yeah.
contentment, but just looking at it the other way around. And another example, so the idea of modesty, like I do not really want to think of myself as I'm like better than others, because then that would defeat the idea of, you being humble and looking at other people with respect and like just learning that you could learn for them. And I thought that humility means lowballing yourself. I for some reason I had that connection in my mind. And then when I realized that it's not really that, you can be humble, you can try to be modest with your mindset and still have boundaries. And
Mhm.
that actually is protecting your principles, protecting essentially your sense of self. Because if I keep on lowballing myself to the point that I get hurt, Now I would look at the other person and think that they're the villain, I'm the victim, because I am allowing myself, and I have developed that victim mindset. Oh, I am only worth this and that, which turns into self-righteousness, because like, oh, the world is against me kind of feeling. But when I know how to stand my ground, I can actually, this is what I am worth. I understand that other services are worth more, even though we're serving the same thing. But I also understand that I have gained a certain set of skills that are actually worth this much. Whether you like it or not, that's okay. You can leave if you can't afford this. Now, those people that respect me and they have the same expectation to what I could provide, and those are the people that I can work with. And I can still have that modest mindset. And another
Mhm.
thing, I was saying modesty. Before, I was thinking that I would do a lot of things. I need to
Mm.
learn this, I need to learn that. I need to do my social media and like offer social media as well when I couldn't even do it. So therefore I need to
Mm.
get my course because I am modest enough to understand that I don't know how to do it. And now I'm spending all my money on different courses that are not necessary for my business. When in fact I could just, look at modesty in a manner of I cannot do what you're asking me to do. I can only do this. This is the realistic expectation that I can give you is what I am able to offer. And this is that much. And I wouldn't be able to offer you that other thing additionally. So it's up to you. And surprisingly, I thought people would not like me for that. I thought people would not book me when I tell them that I couldn't do something. They would. They would actually, turns out. And that's also, I think I haven't told you that. Because I am able to say no, like that's already out of my scope of expertise. I could refer you to other people if you want that. But this is what I can only give you, and I can really promise this result. They're able to respect me because I know what I can do and I'm not the yes person. They know that I'm not just offering this so I could get money from them. So, yeah, like
Yeah.
I mentioned, it is the same principle looked in a different manner. So,
Yeah, like it's so crazy powerful your thoughts are around
mm-mm,
money and how it really mirrors your actions. Because as you said, when you had these negative perceptions or meanings to like increasing your rates or like
mm,
saying no, setting boundaries, you didn't do them. Versus when I think it was also so important, like when you realize those things for yourself, because you didn't even realize like you had
mhm,
thoughts
mhm,
about
mhm,
that prior to
mm,
having
mm,
that conversation around it. So I think that's so important. Like number one is having like that space to like really like vocalize like what are the things that are really holding you back in your thoughts that you didn't even
mhm,
realize were roadblocks.
mhm,
And
mhm,
then once we were able to identify that, then second is we were able to see other perspectives or other ways to reframe it so that you can see
mhm.
it in a different light that would be more empowering to you,
Yeah.
therefore translated to your actions. And
Mhm,
this is why like I just can't shut up about like how important it is to really understand our thoughts and beliefs around money, because whether we like it
mhm,
or not, it's gonna reflect in our business
mm,
decisions, in our
mm,
life
mm.
decisions. And I love those examples because those are like clearly what led you to where you are now. So let's jump into that. Like
Okay.
what goals became reality for you in life, in business,
Okay.
because your mindset has shifted from scarcity to abundance?
Okay. One goal, I'm able to track my finances properly.
Yeah.
So now another is the time freedom, really. Like I have enough time for
Yeah.
myself. I have enough time for other things that are important for me because I only work with one client a month, and that's already enough for me. And I have more time to do other things, and basically my asking price can already cover my lifestyle for that month. So, and then another thing I already have, again, I'm so sorry, coach. I forgot the term that you used for it, but I think was it like revolving something?
Business
Uh
revolving fund, was it?
business, yeah, that
Yeah.
that word. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So when you told me that I also need to, pay myself, it's like I'm my own worker, and so I pay myself apart from the business expenses that I'm already like putting on my budget, and I also need to put set aside an amount for my revolving fund, so that I could take some time off and not worry about where will I get the next bill for next month because I'm not working. So that really helped me gain that freedom. And as well, I could track my finances properly. I did have a spreadsheet before, but it was, I would say, it wasn't sustainable. So with the spreadsheet that you gave me, how I would be tracking it like twice a week, right? I would be putting it in there and like just putting the budget on where they should be going before I actually do something about it.
The financial
Sorry?
system, the
Mm-hmm.
twice a month
Yeah, the
financial
twice a
system.
month.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
financial system. I am so sorry. I forgot the terms.
No, it's
But
okay.
the spreadsheet. I call
Yeah.
that the spreadsheet now. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I would work on that 2 times a month and just spend 15 to 20 minutes. And then I wouldn't have to worry. I wouldn't have to like catch myself off guard. Like, do I still have enough money on my account?
Mm-hmm.
Because I already have this budget for that. So when I am out, I know which card to use. I know that I still have enough for this. I think I did not realize that I have it before, but that kind of financial anxiety whenever I swipe my card, like I really want something and so I would swipe it and then like thinking if I would still have enough for another bill that I have to pay for
Mm-hmm.
like few days from now. So parang nawala yun. That
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter before for me. I didn't think that that was like bothersome, but when that problem disappeared after working with the financial tracker spreadsheet that you made for me, it was gone. And I just had that feeling that I am in control with my finances. And it's not like parang a grand epiphany, like, oh, this is like that. It's a slow realization that my life has been lighter since then. So that is wonderful. And yes, so I've just been working with you for like a few months pa, 'di ba? I think it was like not even a year. And so we had this 2-year plan where I will be getting the specific amount. And when I look at it right now, I am in the right track. And that gives me a sense of comfort and confidence that I'm doing the right thing. And when I look at that, I no longer have to think on how I will expand my business to get more money because when I look at that, I'm doing okay. So I don't need to do anything more. And that again gives me a sense of comfort, more freedom, really, like a sense of control on my finances, on my life, basically. So I think that is one of the biggest benefits that I have. So now, whenever I want to expand or like do something for my business, it's not coming out of like a motivation na parang I need to earn more, I need to do this. It basically is just, something that I would like to venture just because I have enough for my business to do this and I can lose this money because I have, the revolving fund that I have. And that is really like that's a game changer because I get to explore what I really love doing without the pressure that I need to earn from this. And that's wonderful. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love it because ultimately, like, that's what our finances should be for. It should empower
Mm,
us to
mm,
freely make decisions that are aligned with
mhm,
us
mhm.
intrinsically. Because I feel like that's what you said. It's like all about because I already have a plan, I have the system, I know how to manage my finances. It allows me to make better decisions for
Mhm.
my business, not from a place of pressure, but from a place of
Yeah.
excitement, of like what I'm called to do, what I really love to do. And at the core of things, like that's why we want to have a business. It's like to
Yes.
have that kind of freedom. And
Mhm.
I think that's why I always say like it's the missing puzzle. Like if we don't
Mm.
have the proper mindset and system around managing our money,
Mhm.
we can get lost in the hustle of running a business. We get lost in like, oh, I need to upskill here, for the course here. You were gonna say
I
something?
yes, I forgot to tell you this.
Yeah.
So I did not tell you yet.
Yeah.
I failed. I failed sometime. So I ventured on something and I thought
Hmm.
that was gonna be like a huge, wonderful offer. So
Yeah.
I posted it on social media and it was cricket.
Uh-huh.
It hurt my pride because I spent an amount of time and like so much hope for that and I did my market research and like it did not soar, but it did not hurt my finances because everything is still intact. That's when I realized that if you have your finances all in place, you're not afraid to fail. You can fail. It's not a guarantee that you will not fail. I will definitely have more ventures that will flop. Definitely. And that was just an example. But it was more of, when I realized that it did not work and I had to cut my losses now and like there's nothing. It wasn't like, oh, where I just lost my money, how am I gonna pay my I borrowed money to invest on this, how am I gonna pay my debt? It wasn't like that. It was, what did I do wrong, what should I do next time? And there's just so much, how would I say, like you mentioned, like an empowerment into that, that you can actually look at your business without the emotional aspect of it, because you're not drowning in debt.
Mm.
Because again, you know that you have the finances, and that amount that you spend is something that you can lose. So now your problem is your strategy did not work, do something about it. It's not like, where will I get money to fund that loss? And that's very empowering, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I remember you said that what you really wanted to be empowered doing is knowing when and how to
Mm,
spend your money in your
mm,
business.
mm,
And I love that you're able to freely make these decisions for yourself now because
mm,
your mindset is in the right place. You have a system
mm,
for your finances in a way that you'd feel in control because ultimately that's what our finances should do for us to be in
mm.
control of our day-to-day
Yeah.
expenses, our business decisions. And so let's dive into like how do you think that mindset and financial system really prepared you in increasing your rates, in getting booked out? Like how do you think that got you to that result?
So when it comes to increasing my rate, it was really the mindset coaching that helped me through it. But now that I am in control of my finances, I kind of have this, before, when I gave my rate and I just really stuck with it because of the mindset coaching that we had, and I did not budge. I had that feeling, I wasn't really sure if this would work. So when my client said yes, I was so surprised. But now I no longer, like, I no longer have doubts that this will work. And that that kind of mindset, because I already tried it and it worked. Tried it the second time around, it still worked without budging my rates. And now I can already approach the client and like pitch my offer, or they come to me and they tell them my rate without any doubt. And that translates into being more confident when I speak with them, because in my line of work, I have to speak with the client first. I have to tell them my strategy and like help them be confident with my strategy as well before they invest in me. And a huge part of that is getting their trust. And because I am confident with myself and like telling them that that's the worth, and that I can confidently deliver that, it kind of translates to my aura when I speak with them. And that definitely has so much to do with me getting booked out. I think if it's not because of the coaching that I've had with you, really I would still be stuck in that same old technique where I would tell them what I'm doing for them and then give them a discount. And it's just gonna be like another thing. Another way that my financial tracking, as you call that, helped me raise my rate, so to speak, is because I already have the savings. I already have enough money set for next month to pay for my, because part of it is like, paying for next month's bill, so that I wouldn't have to like go around and like look for another client just to pay for next month. But it's like I'm constantly drowning and just trying to make it barely alive. But because I already have some things lined up for me, then now I'm not that afraid to stand and keep my ground, because it's okay if this client doesn't work for me. If no one books me this month, which hasn't happened yet, but like I have that confidence that if no one books me because of my rate, then it's okay, because I'm still going to be alive next month, because I already have my finances in place and I wouldn't be borrowing money just to support my business. So that helps a lot when I talk to clients, and I think that really helps me get booked out. Because
Yeah.
in the work that we have, confidence is our biggest investment talaga. So
Yeah, I love you mentioned confidence because in order to have confidence, it really stems from the mindset of like your self-belief, your self-worth, like how you
mm,
perceive money. And so like it really went hand in hand that when we work on your thoughts around money, your beliefs around money, and your self-worth, like that translated to confidence. And therefore
mhm,
confidence allowed you to be firm about your rates, not
mm,
lowball yourself, not
mhm,
suddenly like give a discount out of
mhm,
like panic, but
mhm,
rather
mhm,
like exuding confidence with that rate, knowing that you will confidently deliver. That in itself, like as you said, gains respect. Like both of
mhm,
you will gain respect, not just
mhm,
because you acknowledge like this is really what I'm good at, that person respects it, and at the same time, like,
Mhm.
you're also respected with what you're able to deliver and what your boundaries are. And then in the same way, because you have that proper mindset, it also translated with managing your finances properly. Like, I remember you're like, you know what, coach, if my mindset wasn't in the right place, this spreadsheet is just a spreadsheet. Like, I wouldn't really do much about it. So
True.
I like how you brought that up, because ultimately these are just tools, like the spreadsheet, the
Mhm.
trackers. But if your mindset is still like somewhere out there and not in a place of abundance or in a place of confidence, then no
It won't work.
spreadsheet is gonna
Yeah.
work.
So I would say it's like this. Initially, you helped me work on my mindset. So I'm able to implement properly, presenting myself to clients, sticking to my worth, something like that. So because of that, I'm able to like have this consistent stream of income per month because of that change of mindset. And now because of that consistent stream of income that I have, again, because of that mindset, I have this, I can now fill my spreadsheet properly
Mm.
because that
Mm.
spreadsheet is really stressful if you don't have like a proper mindset. Now because I'm able to follow that spreadsheet, I'm able to do that monthly, that also now gives me another, like, gives me more confidence to go out there because I have
Yeah.
proven something to myself. So I think it was
Yeah.
mindset first, and then try, and then realize that it works. Now go to the next part, which is managing the finances,
Mhm.
which helps me, be a totally different person coming out of the course. So that's a really good combo, I must say.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that also led you to solving the root cause also of why you kept
Mm,
draining your income with like courses and like
mm.
outsourcing things and not getting an ROI, if you remember
No
that.
longer doing
And
that now, coach.
okay, good. Amazing. Because now you know that you don't need to rely on so many like outsourcing to confidently like
Mm,
deliver. When in
mhm,
reality, like, you already have what it
mhm,
takes. You just need to enhance sometimes, like
mhm.
to learn from this, learn from
Yeah,
this course, but you don't have to like cling on to them like that you
like
need them, you
there.
know?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And so I wanna like circle back because you said earlier also like what really caught your attention was like in my content of like that side hustles aren't necessary to
Mm.
be financially free or like earning more and things like that. So after coaching, how do you think your mindset has changed around having one income? Because again, you said like it's enough. How do you think like having one income has changed now, and how did it impact like your life, your business, knowing that one income is enough?
Uh, I now work like 2 or 3 days a week. And I think that's coming from before where I would be working even like in the dawn because I have to meet the client in their time zone, when now I can just like, this is my time. I know you're still awake around that time. So meet me there, and like you adjust that kind of confidence. Now I have my schedule, and now I only work 2 or 3 days a week. And that includes working on my business and other people's, my clients' businesses. And because of that, I have like the other 4 days for whatever I wanted to do. And that includes other things. For me, ministry is a huge thing, and I'm having more fun doing it. I am enjoying meeting out with friends more often. The people that matter to me, I am able to go out with my parents every week. That's huge, coach. People that matter to us, and that adds up to me being satisfied, I would say, because like what they say, it's the work life balance. That adds up to my not being so stressed. It's
Yeah.
big. It's big. So that helps me improve my marriage, I would say. Because now I have more time, doing the things that I wanted to do in the household, being a better wife, um, catching up with friends, and that's a huge thing. And just going out with my parents, it was more of taking care of the family and the people that I love, spending time with them, and that adds up to my just being satisfied.
Yeah. Now, is it that like real freedom? right? It's not about
Yes,
like having so many things, so many side hustles, but then you're drowned, you're burnt out, no time for family, versus
yeah.
now you're able
Mm-hmm.
to focus on one income
Mm-hmm.
stream that allows you to cover like what you
Mm-hmm.
need in a month. You know it's enough so that you now
Mm-hmm.
have time for things
Other
outside of work.
things, yes.
Like isn't
The
that
reason
what
why we're
it
working,
means?
coach.
Yeah. Yeah, like we work to live and not
Yeah.
live to work every
Sure,
day, day in,
exactly.
day out. And so I love that you shared that, because it's proof that we can be so focused in one income
Mm-hmm.
stream and feel free and feel like we
Mm-hmm.
have time besides hustling and like
Yeah.
earning and working. Like we can make time for things that truly matter
Mm-hmm.
outside of work. I love also that you mentioned na because you're so focused on that, you get to focus on doing what you really love
Yeah.
talaga, instead of like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this to
Yeah.
earn more, to hustle, to earn more money, when in reality, like we talked about like what's truly enough for you. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was also a powerful exercise when you got to see like, wait, like I can
That
just do
exercise,
this,
yeah.
increase my rate, focus on this niche, and it's enough. Like I can like enjoy the
And we're
now and
good.
fund my
Uh-huh.
goals, and we're good. And that's why I really wanted to bring you in here, because now people can see like when you work on your mindset and your financial system and like really figure out what's truly enough for you, you get to create
Mm-hmm.
your version of financial
Mm-hmm.
freedom and not
True.
be stressed out by
Mm-hmm.
so many things that you need to do in order to fit the mold of what freedom
Exactly.
looks like, when
Mm-hmm.
you can create your own. And so with that, like going through all that journey, like what do you think you would tell someone who's considering to invest in my coaching program?
Okay, so if you are a freelancer and you struggle on like finding clients or pricing your worth, or even thinking how did that freelancer do it when I couldn't, if you are thinking of, if you are depleting your finances, course on hoarding courses, doubting yourself, not knowing whether to invest on other skills or try another product or offer just to increase your rates, it's really best to take a step back and think about your finances. And first of all, just like try to, because that's how I started. I did not immediately jump into the course. I just read the emails that you sent us. They really resonate with me a lot. And when I decided to work with you, that's because some of the advice on your emails really helped me as well. So I think that's the first thing. Try to listen to what Nick is already saying on her emails, on her content. And if it resonates with you, then that's definitely something that you can go for. I do not regret investing on finances, on my financial education first, because had I invested it on something else, then it's gonna be another rat race, and it's not gonna go anywhere. If you are in that situation, if you are like, I don't know what will like bring me to that income that other people are doing, if you are spending so much of your time on Instagram looking at other service providers wondering how they made it, yeah, just consider first that it could be your mindset, it could be there may be something that we need to do with how you handle your finances and how you look at your skills. So yeah, talk to Coach Nick.
Yeah, I love it. Like you really spoke from experience. Like I felt it, you know. And truly, like I'm just so proud of like how far you've come. Like when you messaged me on Instagram, like the financial plan really worked out for me. Like I got booked out. I am able to slow down. Like I can just focus on the clients that are really aligned with me, and I get to really love what I do, and it's such a privilege. Like I'm just like my heart is just so happy for you, because like this is
Thank
like where you
you.
wanted to be when you were like drowning in like
It
doubt and
is.
like feeling so drained. And I just have a feeling that you are speaking to someone right now with everything that you shared. And I hope that while they're listening to this, they can also envision that it's possible for them also, because you've made it happen for yourself.
And yeah, another thing. So if you're thinking that this is gonna be another believe in yourself course, it's not. And another thing that I'd like to add, so before I used to look at other Instagram influencers, like service providers that I want to emulate, and I would look at them and like compare. I am not like this. I'm not able to go, I'm not able to achieve what they have achieved, stuff like that. And I wasn't, I felt like I'm not cut for this kind of industry. And then I realized, so if you are also, I'm speaking to anyone who are watching this, who are also like that, like when they look at their those influencers or service providers who are already achieving so much like freedom as they see on social media, traveling or improving their setup, something like that, and like buying condos, and yet you're, oh, I'm not like this, how can I be like that? If you are like that, try to speak with Coach Nick first, because I used to be in that position before, and then I realized that there's a, like, they are different. And then you can really appreciate what you really are built for inside the course. And once you have that nailed, then you could fix everything else. And that is so important, because that insecurity is such a huge burden to carry, especially if you are in a business, and that's not something that you want to keep dragging. So when I lost that, I was just like, I am happy for this service provider who was able to achieve this much, this and that. And I am happy with this. That kind of contentment, um, that really is a game changer.
Yeah, I love that because like I remember when when you first spoke to me, you're like, please don't change like what I believe in or like what my
Mm,
dreams are or like what I want in life because I don't want the big things. Like I'm fine with like being contented with the things that are enough for me. And I always say like I don't do that with my clients. I'm literally just a mirror for you to see like what is enough for you and then let's
mm,
craft a plan towards that so that you're focused on your path and not comparing yourself to be like should I do that? Should I be doing that? Should I also earn that, you know? And I like how you said that contentment is so powerful because you get to be so in love with your own path,
mm.
with your own version of what matters to you and that becomes like impenetrable and you get to
It
exude that
is.
in your business, in your
Uh-huh.
clients, in the people in your life, like you just said. So
Mm.
thank you so much for showing up today and becoming an
Thank
inspiration
you,
to
Coach.
whoever is watching because I feel like you are.
Thank you, Coach. I really appreciate you. Taking the time after our course and just like
Yeah.
really catching up with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Selfie
Bye
tayo.
bye.